Adam Gorlitsky's life changed on December 30th, 2005, when he was involved in a catastrophic car accident that left him paralyzed. But he has some good news to tell. I sit down one-on-one with him for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview later on iHeartRadio. Adam Gorlitsky, it's so great to see you.
My pleasure, man.
Likewise.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You are the miracle man around here.
I don't know about that now. But I appreciate you saying that.
Oh, anytime. It's the grace of God that you're here. Because I want to talk to you about the night of December 30th, 2005. You were involved with a catastrophic car accident that left you obviously paralyzed from the waist down with a spinal cord injury. Doctors believe that you would never walk again.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what were you thinking at that time?
Oh, man. I mean, at the time, I was 19 years old. Wow. I was going into my sophomore semester of college at the University of South Carolina. I was just a punk kid, man. I didn't know what I wanted, who I was.
Right.
I got up early that morning to move stuff into my new apartment with three of my friends. So I got up probably 4:30 in the morning, drove up to Columbia from here in Charleston, and just decided to go home that night. My brother's birthday is December 31st. And then I just, I just wanted to be home for that and kind of wake up in my own bed. Little did I realize I'd be waking up in a different bed, a hospital bed. And the rest is history, yeah. Car accident, paralyzed from the waist down with a spinal cord injury.
Oof. And obviously in August of 2015, after a decade of living with paralysis, you were given the opportunity to explore a breakthrough new technology, a ReWalk Robotic Exoskeleton, a groundbreaking device that would allow you to stand up and walk.
Yeah.
When you look back to 2015 to right now, what plays in your mind?
Oh, man. 2015, that was, 3.5 years ago now? Or at least 3 years ago now. Yeah, maybe 3.5. Oh, man. A lot. I mean, a lot of emotions, obviously, going through that experience. At the time, I was paralyzed. I mean, I'd been post-accident for about 10 years. And, it's one of those things where you kind of hold out hope that one day you could walk. But look, as the years go by, though, you kind of, I wouldn't say that you lose hope, but you kind of get really accustomed to just being in a wheelchair. And so that, I guess that hope diminishes a little bit. But no, I was given the opportunity to try out the ReWalk Robotic Exoskeleton at Roper St. Francis Hospital, about 3 or 4 blocks down the road. Right. And it was incredible. A life-changing experience. I was 29 years old. I'm 32 now, so I was 29 years old when I first stood up. And it's kind of like that aha moment, right? That everybody always talks about. It was that aha moment for me. And I just knew that 1, I had to do the Cooper River Bridge Run, and then 2, I had to start my own organization called I Got Legs. Right. Because it's just this is an incredible feeling being in this exoskeleton, and now to be able to help others not only get stuff like this exoskeleton, but other needs that help empower themselves. It's truly life changing.
How do you empower yourself?
That's a good question, man. It's a good question. How do I empower how do I inspire myself, empower myself? Yeah, man. I think it's, for whatever reason, I'm one of those, I'm a very competitive guy with my own self. It's just, I'm very comfortable with who I am first and foremost. Sure. I definitely know who I am. I describe myself as a re-enabled athlete. That comes from how I feel when I'm in this exoskeleton. I don't feel disabled. I don't feel able-bodied. I feel re-enabled. So I feel empowered. So I'm an athlete. I like to think of myself as a storyteller. And I'm what I call a social entrepreneur. So I think it all starts with knowing who I am first. and then always trying to come up with ways to become the best version of those three things. And just kind of, so I guess all that really means is just finding goals for myself within those three categories: athlete, storyteller, and as a social entrepreneur or nonprofit executive now. So it's just always trying to find goals. I think, it helps to have great friends,
Yes.
Who are very talented and who always, always try to kind of push me. So I think it all starts with just knowing yourself, finding goals within who you are, and surround yourself with talented people that push you in the right direction.
Right after obviously the exoskeleton happened, you entered the 2016 Coop River Bridge Run, which is a ritual of mine for, I guess, almost 20 years.
How many years have you done it?
14 now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I started in 2000. Took a couple of years ago, I guess 2013 until 2017. I came back 2017 and 2018. I'm hoping to do it again this year. It's not too crowded.
That's cool.
But what got you from the exoskeleton to the Coop River Bridge Run?
Well, growing up, so in high school, I ran track and cross country. I also played basketball. I was pretty good at track and cross country though. So I've always wanted to do the bridge run. I actually never done it before. And I don't know, for whatever reason, like the moment that I stood up, it was funny, like going down to Roper that day.
Right.
I was driving over the bridge from my house, from Mount Pleasant downtown. And I was just thinking, like, man, what if I could like walk over the bridge, like, and as like a storyteller, I was like, maybe we could like film it. I didn't even think about doing the actual bridge run yet. I just was driving over. I go, man, this would be kind of cool just to like film myself walking over the bridge and what that would be like. I didn't know, but then like the second that I stood up, I was like, oh man, maybe this is something bigger. Maybe I should really think about doing the actual bridge run.
Yes.
So I think it kind of brought me back to my track and cross country days.
Yes.
It was an incredible experience. I mean, I can't even describe it.
And you talk about the experience. I know, obviously, for me, I have to get in, and sometimes I'm waiting to the last minute to train for it.
Yeah.
But what was that training like for you now that you are obviously a paralyzed guy?
Well, my training, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like an oxymoron. A paralyzed man walking the Cooper River Bridge Run. It's like not even real almost.
But you made history.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, in terms of training, what did I do? I mean, so I started at Roper. Went down to Roper. I think I was training at that for the first 4 months. So I stood up in the exoskeleton August of 2015.
Right.
So between August and the bridge run, I had about 8 months, 9 months. So the first 3 or 4 months were just me going down to Roper and using it like 2 or 3 days a week for like an hour. But little did I realize, I was like, all right, if I'm really serious about this bridge run, I have to not only use it more, but I think I need to own my own exoskeleton. Because doing it 1 hour a week, that's not really the best. I mean, it was okay. But, and I just realized, like, for the first 3 months, I was only able to take like 2 or 3 steps without messing up. I'm like, oh man, I have to be able to take more than 2 steps without messing up. So I launched a GoFundMe campaign. I then started selling the I Get Legs t-shirts. Right. So on the 10th anniversary of my car accident, believe it or not, I was able to afford the down payment through GoFundMe and selling t-shirts. Right. So the exoskeleton manufacturer came down and presented me my own exoskeleton. And then I was able to finally take it home like 3 months before the bridge run. Yeah. Then it was probably using it 4 or 5 days a week for a few hours, just walking as much as I could. Look, that first bridge run was tough for me. It took 7 hours, exactly this many steps right here, 17,932. Right. But it was tough. I mean, it was tough though. I mean, nothing can really train you for that hill.
Oh yes.
I was doing like parking garages and stuff, but it's not the same.
No.
When you drive over it,
yes,
it doesn't seem that steep.
No.
When you get to your ground level and you're walking and running it,
yes.
Oh man, it's tough.
Oh yes.
Especially like on the actual bridge part,
right?
Like not the sidewalk.
Right.
It's like different kind of terrain.
Yes.
But yeah, no. But then the following year, 2017, I shaved like about 30 minutes off my time from the first year.
Oh, God.
So I was much better in shape, much more prepared for it. So yeah, I'm actually about to walk an entire marathon.
You were telling me that on King Street a few months ago.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm gonna announce it tomorrow. I'm not sure when this will air.
Oh, tonight?
Is it going right now?
Oh, no, not tonight. This is taped. Yeah, taped.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But no, so I'll be announcing it tomorrow, actually, or I guess tonight. The Los Angeles Marathon, in Los Angeles, California. So.
Really? I've always wanted to do that. Well, I've done Chicago and Disney, but I've always wanted to do. Yeah.
Dude, you can do it with me.
Yeah.
Hey, March 24th.
I would love to. I got to save up some money and we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
I would love to do that with you, man. That would be fun.
Hey, I'm ready for it. I'll do it.
How many marathons have you ran?
Just 2 in 2002.
Yeah.
So I did. Well, the first one was Disney World Marathon for team and training. So I raised money for the team here, and I did that in 4 hours and 32 minutes. And then in Chicago, I did it for my birthday in October. So that was
cool.
5 hours and 2 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but Los Angeles, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah. It's I don't. It's gonna be crazy.
Yes.
Not quite sure what to expect.
And are you gonna get ready for these hills and
Yeah, I mean, well, so the actual marathon itself isn't too bad.
Okay.
I mean, there's a few hills, there's a couple hills, but with the way LA is, like the main streets that it's on, it's not. But then, like right next to the main streets, it's the hills.
Right.
Thankfully, the course I think is pretty flat.
Thank God.
For the most part. I mean, there's a couple of hills. I just did the Portlandathon half marathon this past October.
Right.
So it's kind of like the next step. The Portlandathon, which used to be called the Portland Marathon.
Right.
That half marathon took me almost 20 hours. So I expect this full to take about 36 to 42 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Who is Adam Gorlitsky when you are actually participating in the Cooper River Bridge Run and then the former Portland Marathon?
Yeah.
Because most of us are just, we have to use, water, Gatorade, jelly beans. We have to stop, take a breath.
Yeah.
What is it like for you in your mind?
Like during the race?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, it's so because of my spinal cord injury, I can't feel my legs, right? So when I'm walking, I really have to be really concentrated, like hyper focused. In many ways, I am kind of a slightly different person almost, because I'm so focused.
Right.
So during a race, I'm very focused. I'm a lot more quiet than I am when I'm in this chair. So just hyper focused.
Yes.
I have to be. I have to stop and periodically and get water and food and all that. Every like about 3 hours, I need to stop and change my battery out of the exoskeleton. But really, it's just it's kind of like everybody else. I mean, to a certain extent, minus the whole exoskeleton battery change part. But it's an incredible feeling just to be just to be walking a race with everybody, and you really do feel like you feel everybody's energy.
Yes.
Like when everybody runs past you.
Yeah.
It's an incredible. There's nothing else like it. It's one of those things you probably can't understand unless you actually are there doing it. But everybody really helps motivate me going to finish. It can be tough though.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Tomorrow morning I'm doing the Shrewsbury 5K.
That's right.
The Charleston Marathon. So that should take about 3 hours.
3 hours,
I think.
Now, how do you prepare yourself, that is, mentally and physically for a 5K?
That's a good question. It's just trying to get the right amount of sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can really prepare yourself. I mean, I don't get much sleep the night before a race anyway.
Yeah. Tossing and turning.
Yeah. I think with tomorrow's 5K, I mean, it's I'm pretty comfortable doing 5Ks now. If there's anything more than a 5K, I'll be I really gotta watch myself here, and But I think it's just trying to get a good night's sleep beforehand. Eating right.
Right.
Stopping and taking some water breaks.
Right.
I'm when it comes to 5Ks, I'm pretty confident with 5Ks. I don't want to say I can do them in my sleep necessarily, but it's a good kind of jump kickstart to my Los Angeles Marathon training.
That's right.
That's gonna be crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, you were a huge star in track and field back in the day. I'm wondering this is a crazy question. If you were not paralyzed today, what would you have ran the bridge run in? What would you have done the Portland Marathon in, or the Los Angeles Marathon, even or the Shrimp and Grits 5K?
Now, would that be today, you think, or 19?
19 too.
So, I mean, in my prime, my running prime, I used to be able to do a 450 mile.
Wow.
Which, I mean, it's good, but it's not, it wouldn't when you stay. I mean, all those guys that win state are probably like 410s.
Right.
But it's decent. Cross country, I think I ran like in the 15s for a 5K. I think. Oh man, so in my prime, 10K, 40-some minutes maybe.
Oh, good.
Would that be? I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
6.2. If I was doing 7-minute miles, would that be?
Yeah, right around 40. Yeah.
40-something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could maybe break 45. I think.
And that's my time always in the bridge run. I'm always 44, 45, 46.
That's pretty good, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty good. That's real good.
Thank you.
Hey, you really train that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Man.
And eat right, and
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, but it's all about you now.
How old guy are you?
I'm 34.
Okay. Oh, you're like two. That's pretty good.
Well, thank you.
That's pretty legitimate.
Thank you.
Half marathon and full. I couldn't. I don't even know. I mean, that's tough to say.
Maybe 3 hours, maybe 4. I'm thinking you can probably
3.
you can probably finish that. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, something like that.
Or even 4 hours, tops.
3 and 4. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, the marathons are always awesome. I mean, really my version of the marathon in many ways is a 10K, right? It takes about 6 or 7 hours.
Right.
So I was for instance, I was at the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington D.C. That's a really good marathon, man. If you get a chance, please check that out.
I'm gonna do that.
But I did the final 10K of the marathon.
Yeah.
It was awesome, man. Because with the bridge run, when I do it, everybody runs past me, and then I see everybody 6 hours later. Right?
Yeah.
But when I do a 10K within a marathon, though, man, everybody runs past you.
Right.
I actually end up finishing with all the slower runners.
Oh, wow.
So it's a really cool feeling, like being just dead with everybody. We're all just so tired and exhausted. With the bridge run, everyone runs past me, and by the time I see everybody at the finish line, everybody's just already hammered, and having a good time.
Right, cranky big and all that stuff.
At the marathon, it's a little bit different. Everybody's ready to go home.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Trying to get better, But let me get back to I Got Legs.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're bridging the gap between the disabled and able-bodied. And you said this on your website, that we create opportunities to transfer lives in the disabled community.
Yeah.
What is the state of the disabled community right now in Charleston, in your mind?
Ooh, that's a good question. The state of the disabled community. Well, I think it's probably the same for everywhere, I would imagine. I think what happens when you become disabled. I'm going to try to make this as short as concise as possible.
You got plenty of time here.
I think when you become disabled, one, you kind of have to you have to find yourself again in many ways, especially if you become permanently disabled. Yeah. As a guy, when I was 19, my body was everything to me, right? I mean, in many ways it still is. So you have to reinvent yourself. You kind of get lost for a second. Yeah. I think what happens when you become permanently disabled as well is that, look, everybody's really nice to you. They want to help you out, understandably. I think what happens, though, if you're not careful, it's almost like a learned sense of helplessness. I know a lot of my friends who are disabled, everyone does everything for them, and before you know it, they kind of don't know if they can do anything on themselves, for themselves. So I think what I wanted, one of my things with I Got Legs, my with our programs. So I want to create programs that help others empower themselves first. And then from there, they can start to empower their friends and families to help them, fundraise for whatever, if it's an exoskeleton or whatever. But I think it's how do we create an environment within I Got Legs or programs to help empower individuals first. I think it really starts with the individual. It's being your own advocate's tough, but I think once you kind of feel comfortable becoming your own advocate, that's kind of when your whole life changes. So I think the state, to answer your question, the state of the disabled community as a whole, I think there's just not enough advocates within the disabled community, and that's tough. So I think with I Got Legs, it's just trying to identify leaders, get those leaders to empower themselves, become their own advocates, inspire themselves first, and then from there they can empower others. So it's a whole process though. But no, it's very excited about this year in particular. Got a lot of cool things in the works. So.
And you talked about cool things in the works, and earlier you talked about finding goals. What are your goals as we sit here right now?
Well, personally or professionally?
Both, we can.
Well, I guess personally, I guess in the short term is this Los Angeles Marathon.
I thought you were saying you get married or something.
I mean, I would, marriage. I mean, I don't know about short term. I'm just too busy right now. I think. I gotta find something to put up. No, personally, I always want to better myself as an athlete, as a storyteller, as a nonprofit executive.
Right.
Professionally, is to grow this organization to the point where it's a nationally recognized organization that helps out many people in need. I think that, so it's just doing stuff that maps to that. And we're, slowly starting to get there.
Getting there.
We're going to be celebrating our third year of I Got Legs this April at the Bridge Run.
Yes.
So we're kind of taking that next step. We've added some new board members, and we're starting to really fundraise for some really cool stuff. So I think we're doing the right stuff that maps to becoming a nationally recognized organization that works on a national scale. So it's just one step at a time now.
There you go. It's going to happen for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Adam Gorlitsky, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Anytime. Thank you.